In this video, I'll walk you through an entire onboarding process that covers everything from course enrollments to monthly reporting, all on autopilot. If you're a business owner that's spending too much time on onboarding, creating reports on the mundane tasks, this edition of the Automation Blueprint will show you how to automate the entire process so you can reclaim hours each week. This is perfect for service-based businesses that are looking to scale without sacrificing family time. The best part about this project was it was for my cousin's business. So my cousin and her business partner were struggling to scale. They'd built up a strategic partnership, potentially 10,000 users into their LMS, but the manual process of onboarding them was just taking up far too much time. Hi, I'm Phil. I've been building automation since 2007 and I run my own AI automation agency helping businesses to get back as much time as humanly possible every month. So the problem my cousin and her business partner had is that they would get between 8 and 13 requests per day, people that wanted to join one of the group of courses. It was a manual process to assign them, even though it was only a 2 or 3 minute job. It would sort of build up and it distracts away from other work that they were doing, sort of deeper work. 19 hours a week that they were losing to this task and cost them about £500 a month. Now, the problem they had, that even though they were the 2-3 minute jobs, with the strategic partnerships they had, it wouldn't be just scaling to sort of 15, 20 people a day. It could be 30, it could be 50, it could potentially be 100. So that was one of the main challenges, is it would just become a full-time 12-hour day, 14-hour day job just onboarding these customers, and that isn't sustainable and it isn't scalable. So the solution was to come up with an automation, an email-based one that people could email in, saying which group they'd like to be assigned to. We would do some validation, assign it to the course, and also create a monthly reporting package. So they used an LMS, so when the requests come in, the automation would check if the user existed already. If they didn't, it would create them in the LMS, assign them to the relevant group, and then record that information on a spreadsheet. As I mentioned, there was no reporting on this, so we also created a monthly report that would get created as a spreadsheet and get emailed to my cousin and a business partner. It would detail all these group allocations every month. It would also detail if any sort of strategic partners purchased courses direct on the website, and it was also then track upsells. So if the group allocation, which potentially is free to that user, they then bought an additional course, we would record that as well, include it on the monthly report, so they had visibility of what was working in the business and where revenue streams was coming from, and also the allocations from this automation. I'm going to run through that now. Let's jump over to the computer. So for this automation, we chose make.com. The main reason is the LMS, they use a product called LearnDash, which sits inside WordPress. It's a WordPress plugin. So it's been very convenient for them to get up and running. And that gives us a lot of functionality because it gives us the ability to use WordPress API as part of the automation, and then also the LearnDash integration that make.com supports really well. We also use Google Drive, Google Sheets to basically record the information they already used out. They pay for Google Workspace. So it made sense to use that, and make.com was the ideal candidate. So the first workflow was the actual enrollment. So what we did was to create a new inbox that people will email in to say, okay, this is the course we want group allocation to. The first thing we do to make sure we're not duplicating users is to actually see if we can find any users that are in the system already for that email address. Then we route that. So if we don't find any users at all, so the number of bundles is 0, we'll actually create the user using the WordPress connection, setting all the details, things like that. We then also create the user ID, we save that, and then we actually send a welcome email as well, using the same inbox to say that it's been processed. The second thing, that if there is a bundle found, we actually will set the user ID again to the variable which is used in the future sort of reference. Then finally, we now get the user information. So regardless of what's run, whether it's the user ID from the create or the user ID from the retrieve, we then get the information And then what we do, this is where we use OpenAI. So we use GPT-4 or Mini, but we basically say to it, we want this information to be processed. If it's got this sort of group title, so level 1, we want this code and we want this name. If it's level 2, this code, this name. If it's level 3, this code, this name. However, we also put in an error message to say, if you can't determine the group, don't try and allocate it, return us an error and the reason why. We get the group information from this email processor, which is just JSON. We have another router that if the code is not equal to -1, which we're setting here, we actually call the LearnDash API and tell it which user ID and which group ID to assign it. We then send a final email to say successfully added to this group. And when you go, everything's good. And we also populate the Google Sheet for reporting purposes as well. If it is -1, so the code that we use in LearnDash, if it's -1, so we're saying that's our error code, we send an email to say we've not been able to do the mapping. They put something, even the subject line or the body of the email is missing. So that's the sort of the first process that we put in place, the onboarding, so they can actually scale now. So they can actually go, just email in. Whenever someone needs to get access to one of our groups, send an email to this email address and everything will work as if by magic. Perfect. Okay, for the reporting section, we create a new sheet. So what we do every month is we'll put this into a new folder, the monthly reporting. We give it a format, what month it is. Then we just set some variables. Then what we do a router to run through last month's purchases. So the good thing with using WordPress and LearnDash as well is we've been able to use a MySQL connection. I won't show you the query, but it's basically a crazy query that we have put together to be able to work out which websites have referred us traffic and that we've got a purchase from. We then sort of build up an array, create a little header for purchases, and then we save that to the sheet that's been created. For last month's freebies, so the group allocation workflow that we showed, the last thing it did was save to a spreadsheet to say who's been allocated. We're going to get that for the previous month. Again, create an array for that, create the freebie header, save that in the sheet, and then last month we will actually go and look at everyone that's been allocated to one of the 3 groups in the past. Now, there's no time limit on that. They've got to be in one of the groups, but that they've actually made a purchase last month. So they've actually spent money on a different course. So that is to mark an upsell as well. I call that upsells. So then we get that array as well, put the upsell header in, save that, and then finally to my cousin and a business partner, they'll get an email saying all the enrollment information is ready for this month. Here's a link to it. Here's the name of the report. Go and do whatever you need to do with your partners, with your preferred suppliers. That's 2 simple make.com workflows. One to help you scale in terms of being able to onboard customers and clients to the right product and service using a bit of AI, using the products that you've already got access to, using the tech stack that you've already got set up. And then off the back of that, being able to report on that. I think a lot of people do show cool workflows, but as a business owner, you'll need to know about reporting. There'll be information. You need to be data driven to get the best out of that. And this is a great 2-step workflow for people looking to scale service businesses, deliver value to the customer, and then being able to report on that. Thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, if you could like, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. This lets me know that these sort of videos are providing value to people and try and produce more videos like this moving forward. Thanks for watching and speak to you soon.